Hey, greetings and welcome once again. This is an exciting session. We are going to be discussing, is there such a thing as a rebellious wife? If that is something that you're interested in hearing on the wife only, then meet us on the inside. Now that you're on the inside with us, thank you once again for choosing to sit in these sessions as we explore the terrain and the mechanisms of becoming or being a wife in good and regular standing. The question that we're asking, is there such a thing as a rebellious wife? The answer may be surprising, but it may be a little bit challenging for many persons to grasp and appreciate. Based on the biblical standard, there is the virtuous woman who is a wife. She exudes the pinnacles and the principles and the characteristics that a wife should possess. So if you want to be a wife, you have to consider the concept of the virtuous woman, which we will be getting to in a little while. But the question is there such a thing as a rebellious wife? There may be such a thing as a rebellious woman, but when it comes on to being a wife, it's either you're a wife or you're not a wife. Or maybe should we say a rebellious female, but not necessarily a rebellious woman. But then we have the concept of a virtuous woman and a voluptuous woman, which we will be exploring real soon. But now, a female can be rebellious. And when rebellion is presented before us, we understand that there is a disaster waiting to happen. If you are a rebellious female, then you are in trouble. Not only trouble for yourself, but trouble for anyone that you decide to engage in a destructive relationship with. Because of your rebellion, you will transfer that rebellious spirit to the party that you are engaged in. So the first thing that we need to work on is ourselves if we are rebellious. If you have rebellious children, they are destructive, not only to themselves, but to the household, to the representation of the ambassadorship which they should be purporting. They are in a state which they need help. And the first thing is understanding the state that you are in. If you are a rebellious person, a dishonoring person, and you refuse to go under authority, you have no need to engage in a relationship, as your actions indicate that you would prefer to be by yourself. And that there is a selfish position. Usually when individuals say that I am an independent woman, yes, they are in a selfish state and they desire not to be with any man, and they believe that they can do what the man can do, but a man has his place and a woman has her place. Now, because you put yourself before anyone, you become a selfish individual. In order to be a wife, you have to be selfless. It means that you have to die to yourself and be willing to give yourself over totally to your husband. If you desire not to be selfless, then maybe the protocol or the responsibility of being a wife is not for you at this time. When you are rebellious, you bring dishonor, you bring disgrace, you bring destruction, you bring disorder into the relationship. If that is your intention, then this is not the space for you. If you want to change that narrative, then you're at the right place. And we will guide you step by step. And being rebellious and dishonoring and being in this state is a spiritual challenge, because you are walking with spirits which you should not possess. And you have to let those spirits go, because they are putting up blockades from you receiving the blessings that God has in store for you. And if you want to receive the blessings that God has in store for you, you have to be acting in accordance to His will. The woman should know that they are required to respect their husband. It's not that you can consider contemplating respecting your husband. The women need to know that they are required to respect their husband. How can you have a man in your life that is protecting you, providing for you, supporting you, guiding you, teaching you, educating you, counseling you, being a steward to you, and you don't respect him? Even the thought of that concept is disrespectful. This is a recipe for disaster. In respecting a man, the woman should hold him in high esteem, which means that you're going to hold him accountable to his actions. If you respect him, you will not nag him with an intent for him to abdicate his authority. The only way the woman can effect change legitimately in her relationship is by submission. Yes, you heard that correctly. The only way a woman can legitimately have a say in a relationship is by submission. You should not only look good on the outside, there has to be something on the inside. You should look good on the inside, which exudes on the outside, filling the atmosphere with the aroma of your presence. We don't want to see you looking beautiful and yet your character, your representation of your husband is questionable. That there is not a good look. But this all starts with submission. You should not just look good on the outside, because we want more for you than physicality, more for you than vanity, more for you than carnality. That is why we desire for you to act under the inspiration of God. Those who act in ungodly manner are misrepresenting their portfolio. Those who act in ungodly manner, being rebellious, being destructive, being dishonoring, they are misrepresenting the portfolio of wife that God has given to them. And you may be saying to yourself, but I'm not a wife. Do I still need to submit? Yes. Submission is necessary for every individual to succeed in their relationship. But we're going to have to break that down at another juncture. The first person that a female or a woman submits to is their father, because the father is the head of that family. And as such, he has a responsibility to ensure that all the needs are supplied. And as such, he is the one who is training the daughter on how to be submissive to her husband. But that training takes into account the relationship between the mother and the father. And if the relationship between the mother and the father is destructive, then that there will tear the fabric of the ideal for the child, thus leading down a road in which destruction is imminent. Let me share this story with you about Sarah. It was only when Sarah had submitted to her husband and called him Lord, after trying for many years, that her womb was open. Her submission gave her a miracle, because that submission honored God. I am admonished to encourage women to desist from blocking their blessing. Why would you block your blessing by not honoring your husband? Submit and push your pride aside as you honor God. Remember, it was pride that caused Lucifer to fall. Now we know him as Satan, the dragon. Put that pride aside as you honor God by honoring your husband under the legitimate authority according to the outline structure in the Word of God. For those who are not married, these are just some things that are involved in marriage. Now that you have an idea, let us prepare to embrace the process. If you're not willing to submit, you should not engage a king with your misaligned representation in accordance to God's order. If you are willing to submit and push that pride away, then it is time to embrace the process. Don't allow yourself to be tripped by fear and intimidation. I pray that you will walk in courage and confidence as you eradicate fear from taking root in your life. As a woman, being a daughter of Christ, you have the power. Whether you choose to use it is up to you. I say to you, submit, let go, and let God. Signing out from this session of Wife Only is Kareem Ainsley, the wife lifestyle strategist. Be the wife you were meant to be. Now that you're still here with us, let us get into some important information. If you'd like assistance in navigating your relationship, please leave a comment if you see something that misrepresents your previous encounters. Then let us know in the comments and we'll try to respond to them appropriately. Please feel free to share the love with all the persons you know that have a relationship that needs strengthening. For those persons from 17 to 35 who are maybe not yet in a relationship, who are thinking of getting in a relationship, who are in a relationship and need a little encouragement, need a little guidance, because these things are not taught to us in a formal setting, but I'm here to give you guidance so that you can make the best decision for your relationship. The divorce rate is too high. We need to put things back into perspective so we can save the family and thus inadvertently save the society. Thanks for liking, sharing, commenting, subscribing, and whatever you are doing to push this message forward so that we can create the change that we desire to see. Until next time, when we meet on the inside to devour another meal, be blessed and share this blessing.